Hello world, this is Shruti Pandey, and today I have with me a very dear friend from Africa, specifically Nigeria, Victor, who I happen to connect over LinkedIn and talk during early January 2021. And then I realized that problems are problems, solutions are solutions, and technology is technology. And it doesn't matter if it's India, it's Africa, or wherever on this planet Earth. So thank you so much, Victor, for giving me your time.
It's my pleasure to be here, actually.
So do you feel like saying something more, or should we get into our questions straight away?
I think we can go into the questions actually because I think there are things what I'm talking about. So it's cool for us to kind of dive right in.
Okay, okay, no wasting of time. All right. So my first question for you is, why is it difficult to scale more tech solutions in Nigeria?
I actually think scaling tech solutions in Nigeria would be very possible, if not for some few difficulties like government lack of government support, right? The government doesn't really support, like the environment isn't really such a supportive environment, and this is because of how the government has been able to kind of lay some frameworks in place that really doesn't support business activities, especially new business activities from kind of kicking off in here in Nigeria. There are a lot of strict regulations that are against a lot of tech startups kind of making waves. So one of them could be exemplified in the ban of Twitter, right? The government banned Twitter at some point, and this was really not taken well by people here in Nigeria. And what we had to do here in Nigeria was we had to still bypass the process. So you'll find most of them using VPNs, right, to access Twitter still. But cracking down on Twitter, cracking down on cryptocurrency trading, and also limiting the activities of startups like Uber and Bolt and other ride sharing services kind of shows that the government is really not very supportive about these innovations and kind of helping it kick off in such a way. Another thing is talking about raising, for instance, tech entrepreneurs who want to raise startups to kind of scale their businesses are really finding it very difficult because it's really harder right now to get funded as a startup person, right? As a startup entrepreneur. I'm sure most of you might have heard about startups like Paystack, Flutterwave, and the other ones that were created by Nigerians. But now I think those numbers represent less than 10 to 20% of the actual numbers of startups in Nigeria and Africa, right? So I think there's a lot more that can be done to kind of support this kind of endeavors and this kind of entrepreneurship activity going on here. And then most times they would advise you to bootstrap, right? Bootstrap your startup at some point so you can kind of build this sort of traction and raise funding. But bootstrapping here in Nigeria is actually difficult because of the economic conditions, right? There's high cost of living. The inflation is really on the rise right now. So a lot of things, you're just struggling to make it. So most people that go into entrepreneurship quit after some time. So it's actually very, very difficult to scale such tech solutions in with such regards. Yeah.
No, you actually covered amazing points because it is actually very similar in India also, right? If you talk about the GDP, inflation, the recession, which is actually standing at our doors, and the rise in unemployment also. Because there was one point during the pandemic where everybody was, talking about the great resignation, where people are just hopping from one job to another, one startup to another, whatever that might be. And currently there are the news of layoffs all around the world, not just in India. So I think there is a lot of things that is going on. And you rightly mentioned, and these are like some things which we take for granted about, the role of government in strategizing and keeping policies like the use of Ola, Uber, and stuff like that. I remember when during the pandemic, maybe during 2020, when TikTok was banned in India, and a lot of people who created content on it were very, very sad about it. Like, why is an app being banned in India? So while it might look very simple for some people, but um You are absolutely right in pointing out that this actually impacts the technological landscape in a big way, which could be something as simple as using an Ola or Uber in your country. So without wasting any time and wanting to understand this scenario more, my second question for you is, how do you think can this situation be handled? Now that you have stated all these different areas, what do you think can be a solution?
Okay, nice question actually. So I actually think starting out from maybe the point I mentioned about the government, right? I think there's a government role to play, and there's also the individual role to play, right? So, and for the government's role, I think better government policies could do, right? Policies that could kind of help our ease of doing business here in Nigeria, so such that more startups are kind of comfortable with starting up and also being able to kind of diversify operations here in Nigeria, so that they feel more empowered to be able to kind of operate. And also, I see the government already starting up, kind of kickstarting some say funds, some little SME funds, but most of them are typically mismanaged.
Right.
And I also see that maybe some other entrepreneurs, some higher entrepreneurs, are kind of mediating for the new and uprising entrepreneurs to help the government see the reasons why they should kind of invest in this particular tech ecosystem, because it's really going to increase the startup activity. It's also going to help more businesses kind of build more sustainable and scalable frameworks, so that they would help to reduce the unemployment rates. Because once you're building a thriving business, you're able to employ more people, and that's also going to add to the economic growth. Another thing that can be done is for more African investors to play an active role in improving access to funding in the African startup ecosystem, right? So maybe you talk about people, founders of startups that are kind of unicorns right now, or startups that are doing very well. They can kind of look back to Africa and be like, okay, I want to contribute to improving what is really going on in that continent in terms of entrepreneurship, and also kind of help there. Then the last point I have there is access to advisory, right? I think a lot of young people here in Nigeria need more advisory. They need more investment readiness support for their startups, so that they can kind of assess such funding and support to grow their business.
Wow, I always felt that advice is for free. Like everybody gives you advice, right? Like at least the part of the world I am in, it's so easy for others to just comment that, oh, this will fail, oh, this will be a hit. And I love how you stated great points where you mentioned from the starting that it's not just the government's responsibility, it's also individuals responsibility. Then coming to the point of people who have seen it, done it, and are trying to give back. And uh, wow, this makes sense. And also the fact that you mentioned about advisory, because coaching the right minds and the bright minds to do something is also, which is very important. Otherwise they can just go anywhere in any direction given the circumstances. So I want to understand from you, listening to all of this that's happening in your side of the world, can you share with us your tech entrepreneur journey and help us understand how you have been surviving all of this?
Yeah, so I'll start with the fact that I think right from my university days, I've really had an eye for entrepreneurship. I have always wanted to create something, right? Build something that could kind of impact in a particular space. So that's why at some point in my university days, I was selected as a Unilever ambassador, where I was able to contribute to Unilever's products, and also help to, yes, increase some of their metrics, their revenue, and all that, their publicity and all that stuff. So, and also I was also wise enough, right, to assess the mentorship that Unilever provided for us and other ambassadors. I really tapped into such mentorship because it really helped my career growth and my entrepreneurship journey. and also leverage a couple other mentors. I reached out to people because I was willing to learn how to really be a better entrepreneur. So after school, I dived right into innovation, right? I started studying, started trying to become an innovation management expert in such a way. I was able to kind of network with the right people and was able to now transition from innovation to product management. And from product management, I went into product design. And currently, I'm trying to see how I can become more skilled in software development. But after that, and throughout this journey, I've built some startups, right? Some of them have failed, but I think failure is more like a learning process. So with that, I've been able to strengthen myself in this tech entrepreneurship journey, still by leveraging mentors. So I've also built a startup. I and my team, we built Nepstar.io to help young people. It's more of like a talent management platform that helps young people connect with the right mentors and peers that will help them accelerate their journey into tech. So yeah, so that is really how my tech journey has been.
I still remember last year when we had met, and it's just 1 year, but the amount of maturity and wisdom that has gotten into you in just 1 year, I can't even imagine. It is tremendous. And one thing that still hasn't changed with you, I remember, is actually not one, two things. One is about learning, because I remember even then you're trying to figure out resources as to how you can learn Flutter app, right? Or creation
Yeah.
of Flutter apps. I remember that. And the second thing is you're so inspiring, and you think about your people and your community, and you just don't progress or see success for yourself, but also about creating that success for many other people. And
Mm.
I genuinely pray and request you one thing, Victor: don't change that. Don't ever change that, because I think that one quality of yours will take you to places. Yes, the world may be good, bad, ugly, and I'm pretty sure you will use your wisdom to judge these things. But it is so humbling, and so nice to see and meet people like yourself, and which is also one of the reason why I wanted you on this podcast, because I'm pretty sure you inspire a lot of people in your side of the world. And in case they don't know you, or others don't, maybe don't know you, I think it's high time that the world knows us and the
Yeah,
world
sure.
celebrates you. And this has been such a honest journey of yours, and thank you for making me again understand that it's the same problems that we face in different countries, and it's only up to us how we make the right way of coming out of these problems and be like a winner or a star, maybe. So thank you so much for explaining those amazing questions in such a light-hearted and positive manner. Do you have any more things or any parting words before we wrap up this conversation?
Yeah, sure, sure. So I just really want to commend you for starting up something like this, because I think the same way you've noticed growth in me, which I must say it's as a result of the people around me, right? I think like I could give it up to the people that I've kind of surrounded myself around. And in terms of you and some other few people that have been kind of motivating me on this journey, I remember when I needed help at some point last year, you were really open to kind of connecting me with a lot of people and really giving me the direction that I needed. So I really thank you for that. And I really I'm glad that you started this podcast because it's really helping a lot of people. I see and I watch this podcast, the snippets you share on LinkedIn, and I'm like, I think you're really doing something. There are some conversations you are having that are really worth listening to, and I think the impact of this particular podcast is just starting, it's just beginning. I'm sure in some months to come, it's really going to kind of spread beyond your imaginations. So, but I think there are still some things that people need to understand. I think there's something called the growth mindset and grit, right? The growth mindset is just you being able to always keep learning, right? Always keep believing that you could do better, right? I feel that that's what has kept me kind of progressing. If not coupled with resilience, I might have given up on some certain things, but I've always had this mindset that I think I can still grow. There's an opportunity for me to grow, to the kind of person I want to become. And then I couple it with grit, which means passion. So I infuse passion in everything I do. If I want to be able, if I want to contribute to something, then I make sure I give it my all, right? So immediately you reached out to me and, and you were like, we should talk about these particular topics. I had to quickly give it a thought. I had to quickly go and try to seek some information that could help other people that is going to watch this podcast, not just me. I understand the challenges, but I want these challenges to be widespread and also to, yes, for people to understand. Then lastly, before I go, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Mark Lenner. Mark Lenner is a co-founder at Dream VC. And Dream VC is really doing a lot for the African continent, right? They are like a venture capital company. I think they run venture capital accelerators, trying to bring a lot of Africans into the investment space, right, in Africa, so that they can provide support and investment readiness advice for entrepreneurs. So I really think that that is a very good work. So thank you very much for having me.
So first of all, thank you to Maclina. Maclina, right? Am I pronouncing her name
Yeah,
correct? Thank you, Maclina,
yes.
for helping a lot of young people in Nigeria, and one of them is one of my friends. So thank you so much for doing great stuff. Thank you so much for being so resilient, Victor. When you were talking about resilience and not giving up and all of that right now, you reminded me of our first conversation, and I remember there was some internet or electricity, some issue that happened during the call at that time, remember? And it was
Yeah.
just a normal call that we were doing over a weekend, and I was like, we can do this again, it's okay. And the way you were like, no, just wait, Shruti, we will be in this call and we will talk. I think you had earned much more respect of mine with just that little action. And I think, these little things matter the most. And I still remember that I told you that you remind me of me. And I think that is the biggest thing, when we connect with people, it doesn't matter where you are from, but if we are similar in ethics, values, or work or something like that, it just makes it very easier for you to connect. And I don't know about the great things that you mentioned about the podcast, but I just think of, this venture of mine as giving back to people in India or all over the world. Because when I'm interviewing all these people like yourself, and some from US, some from other parts of Spain, or maybe just Indians in other places, or in people from India, sometimes I feel that added responsibility of, that I'm representing my country, and it shouldn't look bad. And you just want the best things for the best people, and make knowledge accessible is my motto, really. So thank you so much for appreciating me, and wishing me luck in this endeavor, because I would need it. I hope this helps in spreading out the word for amazing entrepreneurs like yourself, right? And getting you the right traction. So thank you so much again for sharing your journey. It was so wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Same here. Same here. Thank you.